Hello everybody, it's Wendy here from Indigo Blue Team with another project. I actually did a video of me making this project, but for some reason my phone went into slow motion part way through, so after about 6 or 7 minutes it went to 1/8 of the speed, which was very interesting. But rather than not share the project with you, I thought I'd show you what I did and talk through the process of doing it. So I've doing a journal page in this lovely journal that we made on the retreat in the autumn with this fabulous button fastening, and it's a 6x6 journal, and the page that I'm going to share with you is this one. Just make sure that that's in shot so that you can see it. I thought this is a video that's going live in January, probably when we're starting to think about New Year's resolutions, or we have been thinking about New Year's resolutions, and by the time it gets to be a week or maybe 2 weeks into January, we're starting to struggle with them, and I wanted to do something that was a bit more positive, and this sentiment really spoke to me. You don't have to be perfect to be amazing. We don't have to be constantly reinventing ourselves and changing ourselves in order to be the amazing people that we are. So this was the journal page for January, when we need a little bit of positivity and telling that we're okay. We don't need to be down the gym 5 times a week or cutting back on all the food that we like to eat and all those kind of things. So what I did was I started off with a piece of the designer collage paper, one of the warm colours pack in these lovely oranges, yellows and pinks, and I stuck that, having torn it with the tearing rulers, directly onto the journal page. So that gave me a fabulous background to begin with. To give it a little bit more depth, I did some stenciling over the top, and the stencils I used were this one, which is this, I think it's called All Hearts, the one that's got all the dots on it, and the dotty circles. So those are the 3 stencils that I used, and to go through the stencils I used some Burning Bonfire paint, which is a matte paint. I used Daffodil, which is a translucent, and I think that was it, just the orange and yellow. Oh, and a pink paint, which must have been, I think, a pop art pink. I haven't got that one out. I think it was pop art pink, which is a bright translucent paint. So they were the paints that I used for the stenciling. Then I wanted to do a little bit of stamping over the top, so using similar colours, the VersaFine Clair in Summertime and Charming Pink, I used a couple of stamps from Collector's Edition. First one was this one, number 38, Grungy Little Circles, and number 41, Swirly Bubbles, and just did some stamping with those 2 stamps around the edge. Hopefully you can see the pink particularly around the edge there. Okay, so having done the background and quite happy with that, then I wanted to sort out my focal points. So the stamp set, that I used for these were stamps that I'd already got in my stash. I keep talking about the little bag of stuff that I have, so that when I want to create, I can just grab a few things and see what goes together. So I've got some bits here from this stamp set, Mid Mod. So I've used this leaf here, and I've used the middle one of the circles, and the flowers came from this one, Squiggly Flowers, which is this one here, and from another quite recent collector's edition, this one, number 58, the Morris Flower. You can see that one there. So they were the 3 stamp sets that I used to create my focal point. So they were stamped and cut out mainly in VersaFine Clair and then heat embossed, but you can see I've done some of the stamping in slightly different colours. So that's stamped in green, and we've got some stamping going on in orange here. So I'm guessing the orange was summertime, and I think the green VersaFine Clair that I'd have used here would be verdant. Okay, so these were then painted in the same colours that I've used for here. So we've got the daffodil, the translucent paint, and the burning bonfire. And the leaves were done with lime marmalade, and then just a little bit of dottiness of terre verte, another translucent green. And it's not precise painting. I just, with my brush, do a bit of a flick, just sort of flick the paint on like this, and don't worry too much about it being precise, and then just run along the stem to give the stem a little bit of extra colour. So having got those done, I stuck them in position using some grab and go glue, and then printed out my sentiment using VersaFine Clair Nocturne, the black one. Heat embossed it with some clear embossing powder and cut it out. I did think about dividing up the sentiment into these different parts and having them separate on my page, but I think because these little bits here are so small, I thought they'd get a bit lost. So I've left it at one, and I've purposely cut it out with a sort of a wiggly line, if you like, because it echoes this idea of not being perfect, and also because I think if you struggle to cut a straight line, make something obviously wiggly, and then it looks like it's meant to be, because it is meant to be, and you get away with it. So that was done, and then painted over with a little bit of the daffodil so that the colour went well with the background. And I felt it needed just something to edge it. Now I could have used a Stabilo oil pencil and around the edge and watered that out, but I decided just to use a bit of the old favourite, bit of Distress Ink Black Soot, just to give that the black edge that I wanted to tone in with the black text. I thought then that it needed a little bit more black to go with the black here, and also the black that's in the flowers. So I went back to the collector's edition stamp, the grungy little circles, and with the black VersaFine Clair just went round holding the stamp in my hand again as I'd done the first time, and went round and just added in a little bit of black around the edge and just a tiny little bit in this middle area, to hopefully tie it all together. I added in some little bits and pieces with white pen, the jelly pen. You can't necessarily make them out too much. I mean, the collage paper to start with had these lovely white dots on, so I've tried to enhance those a little bit. I've gone over some of the pink hearts that were done through the stencil, just to outline some of those. Some of the swirly, the grungy little swirl circles, the swirly bubbles, just gone around some of the swirls, just to add a little bit extra. And then on the flower here, just some bits of dots of white and some highlights on this flower, just to lift it a little bit. It's not obvious, but hopefully it adds a little bit extra to the page. And then the last thing that I wanted to do was just to frame the whole thing. So again, taking a Sharpie, gel Sharpie, just doing a couple of wiggly lines around the outside just to frame the whole thing. I forgot to mention that the sentiment that I used came from this set, Mindfulness 2. Here it is. You don't have to be perfect to be amazing. Mindfulness 2. So there we have it. quite a quick little project, nice one to do, nice bright colours, a journal page for those times when perhaps you don't think you're as good as you ought to be, but you actually are good enough. So there we are. You don't have to be perfect to be amazing. Hope you enjoyed that. I know it's been a short one, but it's just a talk through today. And I hope you like it. And if you get to make anything, do share it with us on our I Love Indigo Blue Facebook page. And I'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.